the universes, of all that it knows. For a few things that I may just speak to you, you will be amazed. You will be amazed at what all happens around us, and we absolutely do not reflect to it. And the ugliest part on the part of the Muslim community, the most shameful part, the most unfortunate part on the whole Muslim community has been that those who do not believe in the God, they found out so many facts about our universe, and as Muslims, we couldn't reflect, we couldn't correlate those facts with our Creator Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We failed utterly to convince the world that all that you talk about these many facts, where you say today that there is an intelligent power that holds, creates and maintains these facts, that is our Rabbul Alameen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As a whole, we as Muslims, we have utterly failed for that. You know, the science tells us today, your eye, my eye, our eyes, the processing of the eye. How many processes takes place in 1 second, do you know? The eye processes 8 million processings happen in 1 second. Get me another machine equivalent to that. Our eye, it processes 8 million things in a second. 8 million processes happening only in 1 second. Can you imagine? Is it happening by itself? There are 8 million cells that die every second in our body. In our body, 8 million is how much? 80 lakhs. 80 lakh cells die every second in the body. And look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are replaced by 8 million cells created simultaneously. 8 million cells, they die, and 8 million cells replace those dead cells. There are 2.5 trillion red blood cells. How much? 2.5 trillion red blood cells at any given point of time in our human body. What is a trillion? A trillion is 1,000 billion. How much is a billion? 1,000 million. How much is a million? 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs make 1 million. 1,000 million make 1 billion. 1,000 billion make 1 trillion, and at any given point of time, the body has 2.5 trillion red blood cells. Who is maintaining them with the temperature? The temperature of all those blood cells flowing in the body, with the flow, the friction comes. But the temperature is maintained constantly at around 98 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit. Who is doing that? It's happening by chance? Science doesn't agree today. The science absolutely doesn't agree. It needs someone who is supremely powerful to maintain it. And the science doesn't agree to the demigods that we have made, to the fake gods that we have made, that Islam scientifically at the very outset rejects them and says, La ilaha. There are no gods. No God at all. The science says the same thing. There is no God. All the demigods you are talking of, which look like all human characters, these human characters maintain these cells, 2.5 trillion blood cells to be maintained every moment of your life, not even a second. Who is doing it? Islam rejected scientifically, saying La ilaha. The science rejected every demigod. We failed to correlate with the science illallah, except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And do you know, for that number to be maintained, 2.5 trillion blood cells to be maintained, our bone marrow, it keeps on producing about 2.5 million red blood cells every second. Every second, 2.5 million red blood cells are produced to maintain the count of 2.5 trillion red blood cells in the body. And you think this is happening by chance? You think the one who is cherishing and nourishing us, he needs a support? He needs someone in his divinity to support this process? Allah says, La ilaha, there is no God equivalent to him. There is no one in his divinity to support him. He doesn't need anybody to help him out for these processes. He's ar-Rab, he's Rabbul Alameen. Allah is declaring, I am your Allah, and I alone am the Rabbul Alameen. I do everything by myself. You are my creation. I created you. I didn't create you out of anger. I didn't create you to throw you in the universe anywhere. No, I didn't do that. I created you with love and affection. I created you with entire mercy of mine on you. I created you to cherish and nourish you. And it's my responsibility to maintain everything in you. And do you think Allah needs a help for all these processes from anyone whom we call as demigods, whom we give as intercession to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? 2.5 trillion, and do you know how much rain falls on the planet Earth daily? Forget daily. The science tells us today, the planet Earth receives, you can't believe the figure, 16.5 million tons of rain every second. Every second the planet Earth receives 16.5 million tons of rain. Imagine. Imagine this planet Earth I'm not talking about Jupiter. I'm not talking about Mercury, Mars or Venus. I'm not talking about Sun. I'm not talking another galaxy. I'm talking about our own planet Earth receiving 16.5 million tons of rain. And the rain is so perfectly placed. Every drop on the face of the earth falls with an accuracy, with a perfect timing and with a perfect purpose. Who is doing that? You think those whom we worship as demigods besides Allah, they have the power to maintain this? The lightning is, we all know, when it rains, we have the lightning effects. Lightning, how much? What is the power of lightning the earth receives? They say 100 bolts, B-O-L-T-S, bolts. 100 bolts is equal to how much do you know? 100 bolts is equal to 10 million volts. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine that current? 10 million volts of lightning falls on the earth, it strikes the earth every second. You're surviving, but you're surviving. It doesn't fall on the populated areas. Who is controlling it? The science tells us that the universe is so huge that our planet Earth is so meager, it's so weak compared to every other thing in the solar system, that 50,000 meteors, they strike every year our planet Earth. 50,000 meteors at a speed of about 40 kilometers per second on an average, they strike the planet Earth every year, and the atmosphere Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has built around the earth as a shield that totally neutralizes those meteors. In the early 20th century, there was a meteor, a very huge meteor, that fell in the Russian region of Siberia. It was about 61 kilometers in its diameter. 61 kilometers area, almost from here till Sangaredi, when you go, approximately 50 to 60 kilometers area in its diameter. It fell on the earth. You know what happened when it struck the earth in Siberia? You see, why in Siberia? I'm saying, why not in some very populated place where we humans are inhabited? Why in Siberia? Who programmed it to fall there? Allah was showing us the sign. He wanted us to reflect. Allah was showing us that you people are so weak, you don't know what all happens in the universe. If I don't cherish, control and nourish you, one meteor is enough to destroy your population on earth. 61 kilometers in diameter. That meteor falls in the Siberian region, destroying 2,000 kilometers of forest area. And the explosion was so powerful that they say it was 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb exploded on 6th August 1945 in Hiroshima by the United States, that on the spot killed more than 200,000 people. The explosion that happened in Hiroshima, on the spot, it killed 200,000 human lives. And they say this meteor that fell in the Siberian region, the explosion that took place was so powerful that it was 1,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that fell at Hiroshima. Who is controlling this universe now? Who is controlling the universe? The science tells us today that the distance of the planet Earth, while it's revolving around the sun, is so perfect, that if the Earth, instead of being at this distance, had been a little closer, the temperatures would have risen to a level that it would have been impossible for human life to survive on Earth. And had this distance been a little farther from where we are traveling, the temperatures would have been so cold that there would have been no possibility of any life on planet Earth. Who is making them orbit in perfect oscillations? Who made those orbits for them so perfectly for millions of years? There is no chaos in the traffic. The earth doesn't break its traffic rules that Allah set for it. The planetary systems, they don't break the traffic rules that Allah set for them. Perfectly, everything orbiting so perfectly, so harmoniously in the universe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making us reflect. Allah says in the Quran, in Surah Jasiyah, Surah number 45, ayat number 13, Allah says, we created everything in the universe, subjugated it to you for your life. Allah says everything that is happening around in the universe, this is happening only so that you people can survive on planet Earth. Any disturbance anywhere in the universe, your life will be finished on Earth. So perfectly, in such a perfect harmony everywhere. The science tells us today that if Jupiter would not have been at the place where it is, the cosmologists, those who study the cosmos, the cosmologists, they say, had the Jupiter not been at the place where it is, instead had it been in front of the earth, closer to the sun or more farther, they say the planet Earth would have been utterly destroyed by the bombardment of the meteors. Jupiter, it takes millions of meteors on itself, not allowing them to pass till the earth. Is this happening by itself? Is all this perfect planning happening by itself? Look at the atmosphere. The sun's heat reaching the earth. The heat is distributed so perfectly, only a small portion of the earth, it reaches our planet Earth. And the science is telling us today that perfect portion of the heat reaching us, it is only that heat which can help us to survive on the planet Earth. Had it been a little more or a little less, life would have not been possible for us on planet Earth. Who is doing all this? We say fake deities. We say these fake deities are doing it. We say these demigods are doing it. We say for all this Allah needs some intercession. We create our own intercessions for Allah, saying, oh Allah, I seek you. Your help, I seek everything from you through these intercessors. You do it because you actually don't know what all happens in the universe. You don't know what happens within yourself. How are we created? How are we created? If you even ponder on the initial state of the creation, you become speechless, man. You become speechless at the miraculous way Allah created you and me.